You might remember this person, Denims. It's like a Twitch streamer, kind of like a Frogan sort of person that really tries to appeal to Hasan and his viewers, you know, one of these sellout people. And look how disgusting this is. From yesterday, Denims almost says, you can't pull on a dog's tail. Before remembering, ... Yeah, remembering in this context is remembering that, oh, Hasan pulled Fish's tail. Fish is his old dog. And not just pulled the tail, he freaking like yanked the tail multiple times.
It's funny too, like that person earlier in chat, they were running through all their cards of what they, of all the snark talking points.
Yeah.
Of saying, I'm from the streets, this is that. Lit, bro.
She pulled his tail? I didn't even notice that. Someone in chat mentioned it. Dude, you can't...
Yeah, and then she literally freezes for a few seconds, realizing that this could look bad for Hasan.
She blew in his face and then she pulled his tail.
I'm going to run that back with some Asmongold commentary and his editor's note. Good stuff here. And then I've got a lot to say about this too.
Isn't this so transparently pathetic? I mean, do these people have really no self-respect?
Dude, you can't...
What's the problem? I don't get it. Basically, Hasan had a clip pulling his dog's tail and everybody was criticizing it. But because she's part of his orbiters, she can't criticize pulling on a dog's tail as something that's bad, because then that would also implicate Hasan as being bad because he had a clip of pulling on his dog's tail.
And then he ends with the Pokimane clip where she gets sent... She was doing like a stream, right, where viewers can send in clips for her to watch on stream and react to. One of them happens to be a clip of Hasan pulling his old dog Fish's tail, as previously mentioned a moment ago. And she just pauses it instantly and is like, mods? Do I have mods? Clearly, based off her reaction, it's heavily implied that she knows what that clip is. That's why she brushed over it so quickly, meaning she also knows that bro abuses his dogs.
And by the way, she didn't even pull the tail. She was just moving the dog's cover.
Dude, you can't...
I don't see how anybody can watch something like this and then afterwards think to themselves, you know what? I want to listen to this person and like hear what they have to say. It's so sad. Genuinely so sad.
Come here. Hey.
Mods. Do I have mods?
It actually comes off evil, doesn't it? What kind of person will willingly ignore animal abuse because McClout, because my favorite political streamer, we need him, we need Hasan, we need to prop him up. His politics are just like mine. The animal abuse is totally fine. Like, dude, what is wrong with these people? Which takes us right back to the Sasha Grey QTCinderella clip. You remember this? When she pulled up, she was trying to like defend Hasan, and she went to the QTCinderella clip where Cutie was supposed to also be defending Hasan and disproving the shot caller thing, and then she ended up accidentally, like inadvertently, proving that people were right about the caller. So the damage control backfired. Well, Sasha Grey goes to that clip apparently thinking it will help her defend Hasan. Like, it's going to help Hasan to pull this up. Like, QTCinderella's got to be right. We're all going to protect Hasan. She pulls the clip up, sees that it's actually backfiring on them. Then suddenly she's like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Oh, yeah, you don't want to watch it anymore because the truth is against your rhetoric. Yeah, isn't that convenient?
I saw someone who provided info of the caller when he showed it. He took out the contact points and put electrical tape over it. I watched the same clip. There's no tape. And you can't take those points out. You cannot cut the prongs off man, that's what I'm saying. The cope is so hard with a lot of people on this.
Like the electric prongs are taken out of it.
But here's my thing, right?
Oh, I don't want to watch any more of this.
So yeah, once again, very disturbing how they're willing to defend this stuff and also look the other way. They can't so much as condemn animal abuse because, oh, Hasan did it. Oh, someone from our clique, from our side did it. And why is it that so many of these women in the LA streamer clique come off like they got this husk vibe, right? Like there's nothing going on. It's like lifeless feeling, you know? It's actually really creepy, isn't it? You could clearly see it in these clips. I would say Denims and Sasha Grey are the worst. Pokimane's coming close with that vibe though. And then like other people in that clique do similar stuff too though. For example, Caroline Kwan, when she was defending the stuff Hasan was doing, the abuse and all that, you know, she had a similar vibe where she's just coming off like a husk, like lifeless. And then VanillaMace, same thing with her too. It's actually really creepy. Valkyrie's like kind of on that direction from the vibes I get. You know, she's like better. I'll give her that much credit. She doesn't come off as lifeless as those other three that I named do, but she's like, you know, 50-50 on that. It's just really disturbing, actually. I don't know. I don't know why these people do that. Like why they make these choices with their lives. It's very odd. And then to a lesser extent, but still very odd, was the ExtraEmily thing from yesterday, where ExtraEmily's got her friend on stream. Her friend talks about how Hasan came into her work and was rude to her. And the whole time she's like attempting to tell this very brief story, Emily's like making immature, childish noises over her to silence her. And then she says, oh, was he just busy? Was he just looking at things, trying to interject false premises into her mind, the friend's mind, to manipulate this conversation away from, oh, Hasan's rude, to, oh, here's an excuse for why Hasan's not rude. And yes, I understand that she was probably trying to avoid drama, but as I said in that video, she very easily could have said, that's messed up, but let's move on from the topic. Something, you know, like my point is she still was willing to like hush her own friend up and try to get her friend to lie about what happened, or at the very least to not talk about it any further for Hasan's sake, which is just so disturbing. And some people said it was because she's afraid of his community. That could be. It could definitely be a factor. But ultimately, she's collabed with Hasan before. She's willingly been on his streams, willingly been a part of that community. So if it's really that bad, why is she still wanting to be a part of it? Well, probably for clout, right? Probably for clout, connections. Maybe eventually she'll want to move back to LA. I guess she lives in Austin now, so I got that part wrong. That's my bad. When I looked it up, it said she was in LA, but I should have looked up more into that. So, you know, it's something I could have done better. But this is still all to say that these are grown adults capable of making their own decisions, and they're still willingly selling out like this to defend Hasan, to run damage control for him, to try and hush people up when they're criticizing him. X, Y, and Z. I forget if I mentioned this in this video already, my bad, but another one right up there with like Denims and Sasha Grey would be VanillaMace. Very similar vibe there. Also comes off very Husk-like, very sellout vibes, and was right there at the forefront of the Hasan Kaya controversy, defending the dude and like insulting the people who were investigating the matter. Here's another one for you. This voice actress, Caroline Kwan. Voice actress / activist, a part of the LA streamer clique, has collabed with Hasan multiple times, and she also defended Hasan on the same exact topic with that similar sort of lifelessness, dude. It's so creepy, man. It's so creepy. It really is. I don't have like I know I'm kind of like not running in circles here, but I've like made the point. I'm rehashing it over and over again, but with different people, to be fair. But it's because it applies to all these people. Like the same concept applies to all of them, and it's kind of like freaking me out a little bit. Like I like, what is? Am I playing No, I'm Not a Human in real life right now? Is that what's going on? You know what? To be fair to the visitors in that game, even the visitors in that game come off more human and lifelike than the people we're talking about in this whole controversy. So I'm going to play a portion of the Caroline Kwan clip where she was defending a song that you just saw without audio, so you can see that if you haven't seen it, and also get a refresher if you need it. But get this. When I was typing the search up to get that clip, I found another clip, and this one is so bad of Caroline Kwan as well. Someone donates to her on stream and asks her what she thinks about QTCinderella coming forward and saying that Hasan had like exposed himself to her. If you remember that clip, the one where Ludwig seemed to not really care despite how he's supposed to be Cutie's girlfriend and all that. But hey, it's Hasan. We can't criticize him. Even Ludwig, of course, Jellywig moment. Side note, in post-production, running it back, I see I just referred to Ludwig as the girlfriend accidentally. I meant to say boyfriend. But you know what? In a way, it kind of fits. Oops.
Addicted to Zins,
Promotes-
posts his package online, tells his friends to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
He also, during Fear and, he put on his costume and he came in and he said, you could see my dick in this. And I said, Hasan, I'm not looking. And then he proceeded to hump the air and he said, look.
Person makes a donation, questions Caroline Kwan about this, says, you care about women, right? And she just has the most convoluted response. And of course, also just insults the person who sends that, and insults anyone who's concerned about these hypocrisy, you know, this sort of hypocrisy from this group of people and everything. That's all they can do. Deflect, ignore, insult. But here's the first clip, then I'll play the second.
I know it probably doesn't matter to you because you're going to believe what you want to believe and from the sources you want to believe it from. And that's why, like, doesn't matter what I or anyone else says, but it's not a shock collar. I've seen that collar. I've used that collar before. I've babysat that dog. But again, it doesn't matter. I also said too, you know, I think it was something Hasan didn't realize in the moment, that it was going to end up being a shitstorm like this. And so when it happened and people were mentioning in chat, he just did not address it because he, as I said, didn't think this was going to be the result. But
you know, other people would say that he took so long to address it because he wanted to go off stream once the stream ended and like remove the prongs from the collar and put the tape over it. It seems like we do know that the collar was taped over and the prongs were removed according to QTCinderella in that other aforementioned clip. Is it something he like rushed to do during the backlash? To be quite frank, I don't know. Maybe it was already like that for a while. Or maybe he did pause to like actually try and doctor that up for when he actually addressed the thing. I don't know for sure, but we're so far past that at this point in time anyways. There's so many layers to like the stuff he's doing wrong and the abuse going on that like that is just a bullet point of so many. So whatever the case may be on that one notion, it's all a part of something that factually is just awful for him and for all these people who defended him. But hey, for Caroline Kwan, it still gets worse because here's clip number 2.
Hasan's sexual harassment of QTCinderella.
Then we get another long pause like in the Denims clip. You know, she's trying to run the spin in her mind here.
You are so annoying. We're talking about Timothée Chalamet. You don't get to come in here and derail me shitting on Annie Leibowitz's cover of Timothée Chalamet. That's not how this works. Do you understand that everybody else in the class is participating in this conversation? And you come in thinking you've got this gotcha? You spend way too much time on LSF. Okay, you are cooking your brain. You are wasting your life on that platform. I am so serious. You support women, don't you? Goodbye.
Oh yeah, the SAG bootlicking VA who's spending her time by hyper-analyzing a Vogue cover is going to get mad at people who are browsing the LSF subreddit saying that they're wasting their time and that this is some sort of gotcha moment that failed. It didn't have to be a gotcha moment. All you had to say was like, oh yeah, that was tacky of him. Isn't he dating Valkyrie or isn't Ludwig dating QTCinderella? Yeah, it seems like, you know, kind of tacky, trashy, maybe shouldn't be doing that. She doesn't even have to say all those points, but like at least one of them, right? But what do we get instead? Time to deflect. The person who donated this is the problem, guys. Not me, not Hasan. And the examples I gave were also like a very light end of it. Obviously, yes, it is trashy. Yes, it is tacky. No, he shouldn't be exposing himself unsolicited to people, obviously. I'm saying, like, definitively, he shouldn't be doing that, obviously, right? But, like, even for the example of something she could have said as a watered-down version, she could have said, like, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Kind of trashy, kind of tacky. Again, a watered-down version of a more objective stance against that stuff. But she couldn't even do that much. Anyways, that is the LA streamer click for you. Let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next one.